$25 target. Stacy, what the heck is going on with Intel this week?
Yeah, there's been a lot of headlines over the last week or so, and you mentioned Trump and JVs. And frankly, I think it all really does come down to Trump. Most of the headlines have involved potential, like a U.S. government pressure, such as it is on TSMC, floating some proposals to help prop up Intel and push the administration's kind of Made in America semiconductor agenda. And there have been a few things that have been brought up from, TSMC adding more types of capacity in the U.S. on the one extreme, all the way to the other extreme, which supposedly, proposals to have TSMC do technology transfer to Intel and help support them that way. And, the stock has been beaten down a lot, like they've been left for dead. I do think that a lot of investors have been short it. And so because of some of these headlines, you're clearly going to drive sentiment up and you may squeeze some of those shorts. And that's what we've been seeing over the last week. And you're right, it's had a pretty powerful week off of the lows. Yeah,
now a lot of people are watching it, because we're talking about it, Stacy, and they're thinking, should I buy Intel? Should they buy Intel?
We are not recommending that you buy Intel. That being said, and we've talked on this, I always kind of joke. I've been a noted bear on the company. I'm afraid to short it right now for reasons like this. Like news flow comes out. We can talk about what's been said. A lot of it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. And we can talk about why, but it's these kinds of headlines that make me terrified to short it, because I mean, anything can come down. Trump can tweet anything out like on any given day or like whatever, and it can go up a lot. And so it's a tough short, and you can see what's happened. I think when people are shorted and news comes like this, it definitely squeezes.
And listen, Intel short interest, by the way, it's about 2.5%. Somebody in my ear, thank you, just got and told me that, so I sounded smart. I had nothing to do with it. Because shorting is risky. Your risk of loss is unlimited. The stock can go up forever, and you can get your face ripped off. And I think that's what's happened with some people in Intel this week. But has the fundamental story, Stacy, for Intel really changed?
I don't think the fundamentals have changed, but we should talk a little about what is supposedly being bandied about. And so there have been some news articles that have talked about a few options. They've involved effectively, I guess, governmental pressure on TSMC to either A, build more capacity on the packaging side on the back end, B, potentially to take some sort of equity investment, maybe with other semiconductor companies to help support the very loss-making manufacturing assets they have, and C, maybe even to do technology transfer and to try to boost Intel's prospects that way. I would say adding more capacity in the U.S. by TSMC, if it happens, is not implausible. They're already building here, and they could build more. They could build wafer fab. They could build packaging. It could happen. I'd say direct investments, it's happened. Intel actually has a couple of JVs with private equity who've invested in Intel's factories, although I would say the terms have been very onerous to Intel. And so I don't know what kind of returns would be required. The technology transfer piece is the one that really throws me for a loop. I don't know why TSMC would want to do anything like that voluntarily. It doesn't make any sense to me. Of course, the thought is maybe it's not entirely voluntary, right?